Hi guys, so it's been quite a while, about 6 months. I've got about 416 messages. A lot of them are requests. I'm going to try and get through them. I've not been around. Anyway, there's a couple of things, well, there's quite a few things I'm going to do, but I'm not going to bore you with the details, so I'll just give you the title. First is, I'm going to try and find what I think is, let's start with 10 most beautiful pieces of music. I don't know what quantifies beauty. That's the rabbit hole my gardener and I went down the other day. But is it an objective, subjective, perspective? What determines what a beautiful thing is? I think it's subjective. But anyway, so I'm gonna search for that. So I'm gonna play a song that I've heard a few times, but I've never seen it live, and I know it from various things, including adverts, commercials, as they say in America. Let me try and find the actual name of it. I think it's called Flower Duet. Okay, excuse the pronunciation. Delibes Lakmé, Duo des Fleurs, Flower Duet, Sabine, Devieilhe and Marianne, Crebassa. So I listened to this. I actually did a video of it, but it was copyrighted. This one might be as well. But I'm going to listen to this. I think so far, and this is a journey I'm just starting, but from my, let me just turn this a bit, from my experience of listening to various pieces of music over the years, not actually analysing them, I think this is the most beautifulest piece of music out there. In my little bubble. That's a contradiction, but you know what I mean. In other words, it's a challenge. Tell me what you think is more beautiful than this, and I'll listen to it, and let's see what everyone thinks. This is only 3.5 minutes. I'm just going to blast it on my speaker rather than headphones.
For more than 5 years. Stop.
Here we go. So I was actually typing away a little bit because I was trying to understand the lyrics, not just reading, but trying to understand the history of the song. I just thought, I wasn't trying to be rude there, sorry, but I was also thinking like of my earlier question. So this is what I'm going to do at the end of the video, only because people have asked. I know it's a bit pretentious. You can switch off now. That was my reaction. But if you want to go, I perceive deeper under the skin from, again, an ignorant perspective. So this is a non-philosophical kind of layman's understanding of what I think beauty is. And the reason I'm putting this out there is so people can try and expound on it, to try and understand what it is that makes something beautiful, because the whole point of this channel is supposed to be music and philosophy, and I understand I haven't done a lot of philosophy. There is some, but not a lot. So there'll be a time where the music cuts off and the philosophy starts, and we'll see how that evolves. I think it becomes beautiful when it does more than just organized sounds. I think it's the depths, the surprises, the chaos and order, which somehow dispel and they somehow create, or I'll say they manifest within us some kind of emotional truth. I think them patterns are ingrained somewhere within us, and music kind of lets them manifest as an emotional truth. I go a little bit down Schopenhauer's route in regards of saying it is more than something that's just perceived. What I mean by that is, if I listen to something that's beautiful here and somebody listens to it in the other side of the world, as a bit of a moronic example, and someone listened to it 500 years ago and we all found it beautiful, that it all reflected to us something awe and inspiring and emotional, it had some kind of meaning in our struggle or something like that, or gave us some kind of hope, then if that happened in various places at various times, then you could argue that's subjective. But surely subjectivism has a gradient with objectivism. So there is a point where it stops being subjective and starts being objective. What I mean is, if there's two people in a room, one says that the sky is blue and one says the sky is yellow, then it's a non-factual, subjective perspective, right? The sky may be blue, it may be yellow, it may be green. Their opinions are subjective. Wrong or right comes into that's going into different territory. But when you listen to music and a lot of people agree that there's something beyond them and beyond the understanding of everyone that hears it, and it makes us feel very similar, surely there is a cut-off point where there's not just two people but 99% of people, or 99.99% of people who all think it's beautiful. And it becomes objective, even though it's not 100%. That's what I mean by gradient. And it feels beautiful because it brings in contradictions within us. As I say, it's this chaos and a lot of order in the music. There's some kind of ingrained human truth. We've got to remember that we created music before we created language. Not by 10 years or 100 years, by I think it was something like 116,000 years, if I remember from the book Sapiens. You might please do correct me, that we created music and the sound of music and just sounds prior to music, before we created language. So it's something deeply rooted in our psyche. And also animals create music. I'm sure we all know birds create music. They're not just it's not just communication. A bird can sound beautiful. Why the fuck is it beautiful? What is beautiful about it? Is it limits to rationality? Is that what it's bringing back out? I mean, it's non-physical, so it's a non-physical remains or non-physical remnants that stay with you after the thing passes. What I mean is, if you eat something and it's beautiful and it's tasty and it's lovely in your mouth, and then it goes and the taste goes, that thing no longer exists. But music can still resonate. Like, I can still hear that song. Right, this is where I start just going down a rabbit hole of not knowing anything and asking questions. But I think it's a really amazing paradox. It's something that you cannot possess, you can only experience it. It has meaning. I do think it has meaning, and somehow the music resembles, it's self-resembling. So if there's a beautiful piece of music like that, it's got its own structure, it's almost its own soul, its own being. That piece of music exists not because somebody composed it, which they did, but because somebody found that it is composable. That's a made-up word. But I'd love to know in the actual psyche of philosophy of what it means. Not beauty. I'm not going down, I think it's Will to Power, Gay Science, them books, and mainly by Nietzsche when he talks about beauty. I'm not going down that route because that for me is too deep. But just in the sense of layman's notion of what we can say is a beautiful piece of music. Anyway, all that shit's over. So my question to you guys is, can you name or tell me more songs that are more beautiful than that in your opinion? I'm sure you can. Tell me what they are, and what we'll start doing is we'll start listening to them one by one. If I get one a week, I'll do one a week. If I get one a month, I'll do one a month. If I get 5 in 5 days, I'll do 1 in 5 days. So yeah, it'd be good to know. Let me know what you think, and your thoughts are most appreciated and welcome. Thank you.